Okay, hi. So this is actually my first ever review of a fountain pen. So please bear with me as I kind of stumble my way through talking about this thing. Um, I recently just got this new pen. This is the Pilot Elite in the crosshatch finish, and it is from 1979. So it's a vintage pen, but it is just so handsome. And then this is what it looks like when you post it. Like, look how good that looks. So I really wanted to just kind of talk about how I came about to own this pen. It's kind of an interesting story and where I am now along my fountain pen journey. A few years ago, when I got into fountain pens, the two pens that I had were a Platinum Preppy and a Twisby Eco, which one of these two guys. And I knew very little about fountain pens, but I stumbled across a photo of this online. I don't remember where it was, but I just thought it was the most handsome, elegant fountain pen that I had ever seen. And I was afraid to own this pen. I knew it was a vintage pen. I was scared of vintage. I didn't really, understand what the risks were, or even if it would write if I bought this from a stranger online. So I didn't think about it for a really long time. And I also it was very different from the aesthetic that I had back then, right? I just had these two, uh, you know, beginner clear demo fountain pens that didn't look, that handsome or that elegant. So I wasn't like quite ready for a pen that looked like this. But recently I came across this online for sale and I jumped on it immediately because even after all this time, after all these years, when I saw it again, I felt exactly the same way. This thing is just the most beautiful pen I have ever seen. So elegant and so handsome. So now that it's here, I love it even more. And one of the amazing things about this pen, outside of, the way it looks, which is amazing, is that it writes really well. It has an 18 karat nib. Let's see if we can show that. And it writes so smooth with a touch of feedback, and still very soft because it is an 18 karat nib. And it's kind of big too, especially for a pen of this size, which is a pocket pen. But if I compare it to something like a Pilot 743, which is a Pilot's number 18 nib. Let's see, can I get that in focus? They're pretty close in size, at least in length. So that's really cool that a pen this small, a pocket pen, has an 18 karat inlaid gold nib that looks this good. So it looks great and it writes great. And it has it just looks like, look at that nib. It's massive. It looks so good. And another thing is that it's very balanced when posted. The size is excellent, actually. When it's more like this, we compare it to, here's an Eco, here's that 743, here's a Safari. it's pretty small, but when you post it, it's big. It's really big, actually. Let me try to get this back in frame. Yeah. In comparison to the 743 again, if you look at their grip sections, they're very similar. I find the custom 743 to be very well balanced, and so is this Elite. When I first saw the grip section on it, I was a little hesitant because it's perfectly smooth and it rounds down without any lip or anything. It's just this smooth shape that slowly tapers down. And it kind of reminded me of the Lamy 2000. And I actually owned several Lamy 2000s, and I just could never get along with the grip. My fingers would always slip. And this had the same shape as a Lamy 2000 grip, so I was really worried about it. But it's actually very comfortable. And I think it's because it's plastic. The Lamy 2000 is metal at the tip. And I found that really slippery, but this plastic is very, very grippy. And my fingers don't slip. And the fact that it's just so well balanced, it feels really good in the hand. Another thing was, without any like lip on the section, I was really worried my fingers would still slip, right, when they come down. For example, this is a Gravitas pocket pen, but this grip section is by far my favorite grip section in any pen. It's metal, but it's machined with these tiny, tiny grooves that catch your finger, and there's a lip to stop your fingers from sliding. So when I saw the Elite section, I thought, that's the complete opposite. So I was really worried about it, but it's really great in the hand. Fingers don't slip. It's really comfortable and stays in place. And actually, the last thing that makes this a great pen is that capping mechanism. It's so soft and dampened. There's no click, but there is a hard stop when it hits this metal ring right there. And it goes both ways, when you cap it and when you post it. It's so satisfying. I find myself just sitting at my desk, capping this and just doing that all day. It's so soft and dampened. It feels really good. It's just the perfect fidget toy, really. So yeah, that's why I really, really love this pen. And this wasn't really a review. I know I didn't really talk about the specs or anything, but it's just a great, great fountain pen. And I just needed to talk about why I enjoy it so much. Anyway, thanks for listening.